At the center of the university students' action are 30 specialist trainees of the Tauranga campus. They are part of 300 of the university's School of Medicine and Health Services. The anxiety here is that they not only sit for their final examinations next year, but their services are almost urgent in Papua New Guinea. Gabriel Bego looks at their case.
Executives of the National Doctors Association, together with colleague executives of the other 7 sister health workers union, met yesterday in Port Moresby to air their concerns following boycott of classes by the students of the University of Papua New Guinea. They have thrown in their support behind the students, calling on the government to meet the demands by the students to put to rest the boycott to allow students to continue their studies. The students boycotted classes for 3 weeks, protesting for Prime Minister Peter O'Neill to step down from office and present himself for a police interview over allegations relating to legal bills paid to a law firm.
Our students are the future leaders of this country, right? In business, in commerce, in agriculture, right? In religion, and of course, so the Prime Minister now, seeing plenty of his problems that is beyond us now. No, we cannot keep on waiting, right? At least if the government is seeing that something is wrong and the people are crying, right? At least come out clearly and say it right. So we feel that as doctors and professionals in health, we feel that if we sit back and listen and just go on, I think it's not right. So we have now come out in a clear that I think the students' call is pretty much genuine.
The health workers' unions are concerned the boycott has affected students, including the students of the School of Medicine and Health Sciences Tauranga campus.
School of Medicine, as you know, is School of Medicine produces medical doctors, specialist nurses, public health people, and so for dentists. So by the process of them not going to school, and if the mass closure happens, right, we'll be behind by 2 years. Right, our training beside the school, beside your PNG, our School of Medicine training is that if you lose a year, you are foregoing 2 years of training. So because of that, we'll basically be losing a lot of our health workers.
The adverse effect is that if there is no better outcome of the students' demand, and if government move to force early closure of the university or a mass withdrawal by the students, will affect the health sector.
They touched our factory that produces doctors, dentists, pharmacists, lab technicians, specialist medical officers. We have got close to 30 specialists who are supposed to sit for exams this year and qualify as specialists. With the closure of the medical school, which is part of the university, that means that these specialists will not be out for specialist duties next year. And we will lose about 40 doctors. We've got a very tight schedule. There is no other medical school in the country. And so if these medical students, the final year medical students, do not make it because of this situation, that means that the gap for 2017 intake as Resident Medical Officer 1, RMO 1, is not there. It impinges and it touches us and it disturbs the patient care that we do. It's a system that we operate. It's a system that we can't allow to change. And this itself is a direct infringement to the system that we've got. And so we are protecting that system. It's an insult to our system, and we had no choice but to be recruited. And so by supporting the medical school, the Tauranga campus, we are also supporting the university because the two are together as one.
Population ratio now it's around 1 to I think 17,000. So by the process of next year, once the population is increased, you may be looking at the gap is going to increase again.
Apart from the students' issue, the health sector unions are also concerned about the budget cuts to health sector and the drop in foreign reserve affecting importation of medical drugs.
Yes, we understand that Papua New Guinea has got issues with money, but there is also what they call the essential services, in which health delivery of health services is part of the essential services. We deal with human subjects. Okay. Education department is part of essential services. Law and order. So why can't they touch money elsewhere, cut budget elsewhere, rather than touching health department that we deal with health services and deal with the lives of human subjects?
Under the health department, why we are supporting, because of the University of Medical Faculty, that's very important. The lives of our Papua New Guineans have been treated through our health service and our health officers or medical officers. So when the students go out in demanding for the nation's good, we are here to support.
I think we all blame the 123 members of parliament, right? The fall of this thing that has happened is that I think we all blame the 120 members of the parliament. We are now blaming the 28 ministers, right? In the NEC, advisors who've been advising the government, we all blame them for the downfall. I think it's fair. If we are to blame the Prime Minister alone, I think that is wrong.
Health worker unions are the latest to join in the protesting students. Responding to the allegations and the students' demands, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill publicly took a paid advertisement in the daily newspapers explaining the allegations. He defended the office of the Prime Minister that matters are before the police and the courts, and if and until proven by the courts.
Of course, nobody is above the law, but you must have credible, concrete evidence that these particular charges will stand in court. Similar to those that has been charged, you must make an assessment that you have got solid evidence, because you are trying to question reputations of some of the very high-profile Papua New Guineans who have contributed to the meaningful development of our country for many, many years. To question their integrity, to question their position in the country is simply unacceptable if you have not fully investigated.
He appealed to the students not to disrupt their studies, but to allow the processes to take place while continue to complete their studies. He said the government is investing in education among other vital infrastructure developments that should be valued for the good of the country. Responding to the economic status of the country, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill assured business community and investors at the Australia PNG Business Forum in Cairns recently that the foreign reserve will pick up at the end of the year.
In Papua New Guinea, we have an economy that has been experiencing a positive growth over the past 14 years. Our economy has grown at an average of 9% per year between 2012 and 2015, which makes us amongst the highest in the world, particularly in 2014 when we experienced 13.3% growth. So clearly we have demonstrated that our fundamentals of our economy is sound.
Gabriel Bego with that report. This is PNG Tonight. We'll be back after this break.